Excellent. Salute a tutti le meravigliose amici, io sono Canis Buonarrativi, Vtuber che vuole regare a tutti gli amici molto felici. Saluti, come stai nel livello questo dia di oggi? Stai buono? Eso, wait, I need to check the Google Translate. And Suki, grazie mille per essere tornato o tornata a questa trasmissione. Grazie mille. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Wait, I want to see, how do you say I hope so in Italian? ¿Cómo decir eso espero en italiano? Google Translate, here we go. Wait. Italiano. Eso espero. Espero que estés bien. Ojalá que estés bien. How are you? I am doing okay. I had been very asleep, like quite dealing with quite a bit of sleep deprivation, but I am gradually becoming able to stabilize my sleeping patterns. So at the very least, I am seeing a path forward. Oyala. Espero che tu stia bene. Ma spero che voi amici stia bene. Okay, now we need to set the things for start working for the scripts, and we also need to thank the new followers. Thankfully, it seems that this time we're actually having we are doing much better in the on the internet field. Thankfully, we're not having like any weird internet problems or anything. So what is the Twitch? Okay, here's the Twitch. Thank you so very much to all of the new followers. Oh, and we need to an add-on. I don't know why we didn't do the add-on Twitch. That's strange that they're not working. Anyways, thank you so very much to all of the new followers. Thank you to Sphere. Oh, here you are now. Isn't that the magic of coincidences? Thank you so very much, Sphere. Grazie mille per essere tornato a questa trasmissione. Grazie. Thank you so much. Thank you. See, this is my face when Sphere is. Wow! Thank you for coming. Thank you. But seriously, thank you for coming. How had you been today? I hope that you had been having a wonderful day. Antonia, grazie mille per essere tornata a questa trasmissione. Grazie. I hope you have been having a good day too. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Very well. So, thank you so much to Sphere for the follow on Twitch. And thank you to ElconQ, and also known as Clunk. Wait. We can use this one. Also known as Clunk. It was through clones, Zatsu conversations that I discovered the passion and the love for programming. And honestly, if you enjoy chatting, yapping, I can almost guarantee that you will enjoy Colonquio's streams, because he is an absolute master at delucidating and making a topic that, for people who are not familiar with programming, is probably going to seem like something very inaccessible, difficult, but he makes it so incredibly engaging and fun to listen to that you cannot help but be engrossed by it's like when you listen to one of those incredible, amazing professors that is both super passionate about the topic that they are talking about and incredibly knowledgeable about the topic that they are talking about. So I am actually super mega flattered that Clon is following now, is now a follower. So grazie mille a Clon, I'll call you for the follow. Grazie. I need to remember to thank you too after later on his channel. But yeah, he's super mega cool. And thank you also to Colin Q for the shout out. 159 spectators. That's so incredibly cool. Thank you. I did not get to tell him this yet, but listening to Colin's Q streams has actually inspired me to try and learn a little bit of programming. It combined with what I had been seeing about some of the more outdoor game devs, for example, the game developer of Fear and Hunger, and the game developer for Stardew Valley. On a more general level, also for Notch, the creator of Minecraft, to at least try and make something of my own. And at the very least to try, because I do believe that engaging in the creative process is a beautiful end in of itself, and something very much worth following. In fact, that is what one of the essences of what we are going to try and do today. Because in order to get a project off the ground, or in order to create something, oftentimes a good amount of organization, planning, and preparation comes into to make it happen. And that's why we are going to have a bit of a co-working stream today. Right now, at the start, we're going to do a bit of writing. I'm getting a bit sidetracked, sorry. And thank you to Mint Julep the underscore. I think that's an underscore, right? I think that's called underscore in English. GLHF. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, Mint. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks to the amazing Mint, we had completed the goal of 110 followers. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Now, for the final followers up to now, thank you so much to control underscore. Is it underscore or an underdash? No, I think that is called an underscore. I'm gonna actually place it in here. Thank you so much to control underscore O for the follow. Thank you so much. Thank you. You are really cool underscore amazing. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, let me close a few of the tabs in here. I can close this. No, and I can close these images. Excellent. Yes, I can close this. Excellent. Sorry about that. We got to chat a little bit. Okay. Muchas gracias a todos los nuevos seguidores. Realmente lo agradezco un montón. Gracias de verdad. Ustedes son geniales. I'm a coder. I use Unity for making games. Wow, that's actually quite amazing. because I did hear that like Spirit says that Unity can be rather intimidating. It can be very very high powered, but also very kind of like Photoshop, or kind of like more of one of the beefier video editors. That there are like so many options, so many things that you can do with the engine, that it can be a little bit just like overwhelming for someone that is starting out. But Unity really is powerful. Like some of the games that I've seen people making with Unity, they do look gorgeous and they do seem like quite amazing. Unity is too intimidating. It does kind of feel like that. I do imagine that when someone is like a much more experienced programmer, or the equivalents in 3D or 2D modeling or music making or etc., you go developing an habit or an experience with all of the tools and all of the things that you can do. And then it's mostly just you check the documentation once in a while to confirm if something can be done, and you can be on your own way. But at the start there can be a bit of a learning curve. Not gonna lie, Unity is too intimidating. It's a very advanced piece of you're on my left. It's a very advanced piece of software. It is. It can be. Actually, let me put you on the other side. I don't think that we need to have the chat and the sun alerts, the trainless checks. Well, excellent. Okay, here you're on the right. Beautiful. My apologies. It is a very very advanced piece of software, so like you say, it's probably better to start with something else. There's a reason why most people that do the first game, they don't do it with Unity. That actually will be pretty painful. That will be pretty crazy if someone did their first game with Unity, right? Like that isn't even a steep hill. That is just like climbing 90 degrees vertical. It will not be nice. It certainly will not be nice. Godot is super cute. Well, I suppose it's like strange to say that of a game engine. But a lot of the aesthetic and a lot of the vibe of Godot really does feel super super cute, and they do say that it's much more accessible for beginners, especially. And I think another reason why I call Godot super super cute is because of the games that I had seen people making with Godot. Because a lot of the games do have that super cutesy, generally 2D aesthetic. Because I think that Godot free Godot is only for 2D games, I do believe, right? I'm actually not super sure. I'm actually not entirely sure if I remember correctly. Because I thought that the 3D Godot was more of a paid option. Either that, or they use a different application engine, etc. for the true 3D games of Godot. Sorry. Well, I'm gonna learn more about that once I do the. I suppose there is actually a particular category on Twitch for game development, right? I do think that there is. Okay. Now I am preparing a small document big here. Excellent, yeah. We can place this on the background. Podemos poner esto en el fondo. So, as a little disclaimer, Sorry about that, my bad. As a little disclaimer, I will probably offhandedly work in some documents or some files that I cannot really talk about. They're not NDA stuff or anything. If it was NDA, I would not even be talking about it. I will not even allude to it. But they are personal projects. So sometimes I will not show something on the screen. I will just be working on something, and I will talk I'm working on something, but I will not be able to show it. But that will be pretty rare. I'm pretty sure that will be generally like a pretty rare thing to happen. Como una pequeña clarificación, hay algunas ocasiones en las que estaré trabajando en un archivo en el cual no puedo mostrar ese archivo o sus detalles en particular, no porque sería algo en NDA, Non-Disclosure, acuerdo de no divulgación. Si fuera un acuerdo de no divulgación, ni siquiera mencionaría o implicaría algo así. Pero son proyectos personales o proyectos que por algún motivo no deseo mostrar sus detalles en una transmisión. Entonces, en las pocas veces que eso llegase a ocurrir, y realmente serían pocas ocasiones, simplemente mencionaré que estoy trabajando en algo, pero no podré mostrar el proyecto en particular ni mencionar sus detalles. Ojalá lo comprendan, ojalá puedan comprenderlo. Okay, excellent. It's made for 2D, but some wizard designed a 3D engine for it. That's really cool. That's amazing, actually. I'm gonna drink some coffee at the moment. I'll be right back. Beautiful, wonderful. Now we can start. Oh, no, not Twitch alerts, news text. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have this as the first 3 tasks. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. We're gonna start with some minor tasks before we get to continue with the script. Podemos empezar con unas tareas pequeñas antes de continuar con el guión. Reminder that you're awesome. Recordatorio que eres genial. Beautiful. So we can actually make this source visible already. Hang on, let me... Solo un momento, tengo que preparar esto. Ok, ahora tengo mi protegedor en contra... My protector against keyword chatting. If anyone has this issue where sometimes like a spacebar, the spacebar key presses twice every time that you press, apparently it can be because of some hardware issue called keyword chatting, or keyword chatter, sorry, not chatting. And one thing that helped me, because I seem to have a particularly bad case of keyword chatter, I had to ended up downloading this little app called Keyboard and Chatter. And that one, essentially from what I understand, what it does is that you can set up a certain interval. The default is set up at 20 milliseconds, where it will block any kind of like chatter or instant second press, second hit of the key. And it might seem like a very small thing, but for example, I often see in the statistic window of the chatter key, because it tells you, for example, a space bar key was pressed like 1,500 times and it had like 200 instances of chatter, so that was a little above 10% or whatever. It was, for me, it was literally almost impossible to write something because of how bad the key spacebar chatter was. So for me, it was like quite a lifesaver. Not a lightsaver, a lifesaver. A lifesaver. Sorry. Okay. Asking about video editing presentation. So that is the first task that I want to do. Jot down clip ideas. I'm going to aim for like 3 clip ideas for the time being. And okay, draft out middle and long term. Middle goals, then long term goals, then major goals file. Excellent, beautiful. We're gonna move the news text a little bit below here, just so that it will be. Eventually, I will get to utilizing the Pomodoro technique or the Pomodoro method for these co-working streams. Is anyone familiar with the Pomodoro method? We can start with this. I was thinking of like changing one of the goals for something else, but I think we can start with this. But I'm actually going to change I'm at least going to start the draft for asking how to do a presentation of video editing, and after starting the draft I will just take off the first step. Okay, yeah. These are going to be our first track of mini task. Okay. Hajimaru ya. So this one will be networking. And we're going to enter into questions to ask, requirements and stuff. I don't think I want to place. I'm gonna place a particular folder for the other projects. Clip size. Beautiful. Hmm. Because I also want to think how am I going to organize many of these organizational documents for the other projects. For example, for the non-algonese stuff, or for my apologies, or for videos that are outside the typical Vtuber stuff. Because I don't think that I had ever, yeah, I probably almost certainly haven't really ever mentioned much about this before, but I am also flirting with the idea that um, I might also do um, sorry, I am a little bit asleep. Non-VTuber content, but pretty much faceless content. So like sometimes streams where I just don't really have an avatar. Okay. We can start the drafting here. Asking how to present and publicize video editing commissions. And of course, if anyone also has an idea of how I can and get something done in the sense of, oh yeah, maybe you can write this part better, or maybe you can write this other part better, or yeah, if you're wondering how to do that, then you can do it like this. Then please do feel free to mention. I do not mind at all. In fact, I quite encourage it. I quite encourage and appreciate it. Oh. Today's stream is theoretically going to be pretty short, by the way. I am planning to make it just maybe 2 hours or so. But still, why doesn't it? Let's see. A streamer bot, did you do something bad again? Okay. Now it is a function F18. Oh, right. It's another. Okay. I forgot that it was my fault. Right, fine. I will accept reluctantly that this time it might have been my fault. Could it be the consequences of my own actions? Okay, well, that is refreshing, actually. That is quite refreshing. I'm gonna write comment text here to highlight. I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee because my apologies. I do seem to be pretty low energy. Okay. Uh-huh. Huh. Normally, I tend to be pretty reluctant to ask for guidance or help because I tend to be worried that um, people will assume that uh, I am secretly asking for something else, or that I worry that I'm going to put people in an uncomfortable position. And I hope that people understand that when you grow up in a really impoverished country, that makes you grow up to perceive your dynamics with other people in a much different light than if you were talking to other people online as equals. It does not help that there is a considerable proportion of the online landscape that is all too ready to paint the many parts of the third world in the worst light possible. And of course, I am speaking in a rather with very broad strokes here. With very broad strokes here. So in my case, I tend to be rather worried about how I will be perceived if I say certain things, or if I am more open about like some of my financial struggles or stuff like that. I just tend to worry that people are going to think that I am being like, you know. So let me see. I'm trying to think about how I'm going to write this part. How someone can make a good flyer or post. What are the data or selling points a prospective client? And I think that I can also include yeah, maybe in some special occasions I can probably have oh, sorry, I can probably have a free sample, doing a free sample clip. I think that could be a good thing. Additionally, it is likely that I'm going to post clips on the Solfega channel because of how YouTube gets about clips nowadays. Okay. And maybe casually mention it is to help my family, because this is not necessarily the stream to talk about this too much, but essentially my mother got cheated out of the about half of her retirement, and a bunch of other stuff also happened to my family in the past as well, as the cause of being decent persons. So, especially in the case of my mother, I really, 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 really want to help her, because she really did go through a lot of difficulties. Esta quizás no es la transmisión para decir esto en mucho detalle, pero esencialmente a mi madre se le robó algo así como el 50% de sus fondos de retiro. De, no sé cómo se lo dice en otros países hispanoparlantes. Y también otras cosas por las que pasó mi familia en el pasado también, como el precio de ser buenas personas, supongo. No hay español aquí, ok. Pensiones o retiro, sus fondos de retiro, de acuerdo. Así que realmente deseo poder ayudarla. Es por eso por lo que ahora trato de tomar más energía en poder hacer algo para poder ayudarla. Kindness is always appreciated. Thank you so much. La franqueza es algo que siempre he apreciado. Gracias, muchas gracias, de verdad, realmente lo aprecio. Thank you so very much. Thank you. It really means a lot, especially because sometimes as a Vtuber you can often, as a person in front of a camera, I suppose, you can feel oddly vulnerable in ways that people who are not in front of the camera might not intuitively realize. For example, this doesn't really happen too much to me, partly because I don't really get out of my zone, so to say. But being in the public sphere does imply that you will also be exposed to people that don't always assume the best, or that have pretty bad intentions. At the risk of being blunt, this is something that seems to happen more with female VTubers, or with VTubers that get promoted in the more unsavory parts of the internet. And sometimes it can be a bit harsh when you reveal a rather vulnerable side of yourself. And this is something that has happened more with other VTubers. For example, that they call her a grifter, that they call her dishonest, that they call her a lot of really misogynistic terms, and that was pretty harsh. So to see the encouragement and the support and the kindness from a lot of people really means quite a lot. Genuinely means quite a ton. One moment, please. Okay, I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee while I think of how I want to phrase the draft. se mi direga che scopia con te. If I could lost your advice in one thing. But you know what is the thing that kinda really drew a branch on my plans to take video editing commissions? Well, for one is the lack of people, but on the other hand it's also that I don't have access to Vision. And to be honest, I sometimes feel myself pretty excluded from Vision because of the fact that you had to have a kinda not really big, but not particularly small of a following either, for in order to even access Vision. That is to say, in order to even offer your services in Vision. And at the risk of sounding overly negative, that is something that can feel a little bit discouraging, knowing that outside of merit, you are not going to have maybe for Vtubers of a gender that isn't men, it's going to be super easy. I don't want to say super easy either, sorry, but it's going to be not as difficult to get, like, I don't know, 50 likes on Twitter or something. I think it was so that they will give you one Vision code or whatever. Sorry about that. But for relatively say so a male VTuber, that is a bit of a much taller order. So it just like stings a little that you sometimes feel the doors are closed to you for reasons that you don't really have much control over. Yeah, okay, with this then no. The marketing of that ability, I'm going to leave that for the next paragraph. But in this part, it will be more to in offering to the channel of commissions. Okay. Because the funny thing is, I actually already have written um, a sort of presentation or Google Docs file where I pretty much say what are my terms and what is the process going to be like, and all that. And the but for some reason I still tend to feel a little bit lost with the whole process, because I had never done something like that, anything like that before. I had been doing okay as a script writer, and thankfully that is something that seems to be going kind of well for me, as well as something that, at the risk of sounding somewhat full of myself, I seem to be kind of good at. One moment, please. Just one moment, please. Since we had like a micro cut, everything is still online, right? Oh dear, YouTube, please say psych. Okay, it seems to everything seems to be okay, thankfully. Sorry, just one moment, I need to make sure that everything in the string held. Sorry, just one moment, I need to make sure that everything in the string held is good. Yeah, wonderful, okay. Alright, sorry about that. It seems that we are okay. We live to fight another day. I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee. Okay. I get a feeling that just posting a link on my Twitter will not be enough. Okay. Excellent. I had the draft of the 3 main questions that I want to... the 3 main points that I want to make. So we have the essence of this done. Tell you what, we already had... it's already been an hour. So let us start with the script already. Well, that's not good. No worries, nothing that actually showed up on the screen. Thank God for studio mode. I ain't yippy today. I can show you the theatrics ideas actually. Tell you what, we can start with that maybe. I think we can start with that. Theatrics ideas, sure. And it's looking good already, beautiful. Okay. No, it was for safe work. Theatrical, here it is. Magic illusion. Oh no! Oh no, I hope that they didn't. I hope you did not hear me sneezing. That's not good. Transition. Actually, let me listen to that. That did not. I did not sound sneezing, right? I need to make sure of that. Please. I need to make sure. No. It actually sounded. Alconis, you're an idiot. Idiot. Dummy. And I cannot private test that. I cannot cut out that part either. Or I can cut out actually. Command Legend, Video Studio, Headband. Actually, this would be a good chance to test out if it is Headband. Is my... Yeah, okay. My YouTube chat is working. I almost never hear people using the closet door one. Hola, Dulcera! Thank you so much. There's this other one. Oh, right, sorry, I forgot to include that. What? Huh? What was that? Huh? Did that sound behind me? Okay. Oh. Now, why is this not showing the... Okay. The conflict will aside. There. I'm gonna leave this on the side for annotating comments. Like that. Oh, yeah, sorry. That is probably a bit too much black humor, right? That is. that I don't know if people are gonna find that necessarily too funny, actually. Hi, honey! Adiós, siguió tu canal. Thank you so very much for the follow. Thank you so much to Shark. Shark 764. Thank you so much for following. You are amazing. Thank you. You're the coolest. Thank you for the follow, Shark I think underscore, right? You had an underscore. Oh, no underscore. Okay. Thank you so much again, Shark 764. Super cool. Oh, you're squeezing. Kuromilla squeeze. Thank you. Okay. The sound of the grows tantalizingly closer to completion. I think that we can actually have a little example of what I mean of what I visualize in this part. By the way, I'm actually a bit curious. Is anyone here a fan of the Fear and Hunger series? I haven't gotten to play the game myself, but I had been interested by what I got to see, and I do think that as a game, it is really incredibly cool. And excellent, yeah. Something like this. ¿Alguien aquí es fan de la franquicia Fear and Hunger, Miedo y Hambre? Yo no he llegado a jugar la franquicia, pero de lo que estuve viendo es realmente fascinante. Me encanta cuando un autor se anima a hacer una cosa tan única. Now, what was I looking for in this? Oh, yeah. Fear and Hunger coin flip. Excellent. The footnotes are really funny. Thank you. Anta vaca, ¿no? Wait, how did she say? Anta vaca? Huh? Hey, are you being silly now? You cannot use copyrighted sounds. You can't use copyrighted sounds. But talking in a bit more serious tone, it is something that not something that I should I have to keep in mind as an indie, but it's something that I would like to keep in mind, because I will probably like to be part of an agency in the future, and at least I have the idea that if an agency sees that I have been respecting the concept of copyright in detail, like paying attention to that even earlier on as an independent Vtuber, that is something that will give a good impression to the agency. They will see, oh well, yeah, this is a person that tries to be a professional. This is a person that do not announce that you're auditioning for an agency in specific. Yeah. Just never say that. You should never say anything for any specific agency. That is one of the quickest and easiest way to say to give a not great impression to that agency, which makes sense for their mindset, right? In their mindset, okay, if this person is already saying, oh man, I don't even know what the yeah, hey guys, I'm auditioning for BTS. They're probably going to think, oh man, if he cannot even keep quiet about auditioning for BTS, Vtuber Sang-yang, I think was the name, right? Yeah. I don't know if we can trust him with secrets. I don't really know about that. Which, fun fact, well, it's not very common outside of VTuber, but I know that a lot of people make fun of BTS. But actually, those guys really do seem like they practice a lot. Those guys really do seem very dedicated. They do seem like they work really hard. So in that sense, I always admired them quite a ton, to be entirely honest. Maybe that's not a problem for every agency, but yeah, for Sony World. Quizás ese no sería un problema para cada agencia, pero sí, efectivamente para algunos se le hacería. Yeah, people take copyright very seriously in certain situations. Sí, la gente de hecho se toma el tema de copyright muy seriamente en ciertas situaciones. Especially, at least in my experience, from what I have noticed, is there are some parts of the English-speaking internet that take the concept of copyright like it is a sensitive topic for them, but it seems to especially be the case in the Asian internet, where the idea of copyright is taken much more seriously, like that the point that someone blatantly disrespecting copyright can be seen as a very major fault pass. Not only in Japan, from what I understand. I think that also like artists and modelers, renderers, etc. in China and Korea, like they also consider it a very important thing. Obviously, I am not very familiar with the legal aspect of it, but I am sure that many of you will, for example, had heard that Japan doesn't have a concept of fair use. That is just not a legal fiction that exists in their global legislature, in the worldview of their of their of their legal system. So for them, at least as I understand it, the person that created something, created work, has full ownership of that work, and as an extension, how they want that work to be presented. Like more or less, essentially, something kind of like that. So that's why, for example, even in things that many of us will say, oh yeah, it is not that big. For example, oh yeah, this audio had like a little sound effect of fear and hunger, but it's not that big. For a lot of the Japanese audience, they might consider it a bit more bothersome that the person did not even credit the original game or anything like that, or at the very least, it will seem a little bit unprofessional for a Japanese agency. At least that is what I had been led to understand. I don't think that anyone is going to like advocate for the Nintendo feds kicking down your door or anything and saying, I don't know, what's the name of this really big author of Nintendo? The one that essentially helped to make Mario, Zelda, Shigeru Miyamoto, I think. Yeah. It's not like Shigeru Miyamoto is going to come kicking down your door and going to go, let's go, that's evasion. Time for you to go to prison. Not something that extreme is not going to happen either, but it will not give the negative impression. So yeah. Sorry, I got completely distracted. All right. No, this is one. Okay. Mamma mia! Wait. Oh, no. Let the coin of fate decide your destiny. Something almost like that. Ooh. But now I'm noticing that the sound effect should be far more drawn out if I wanted to have the effect that I want. Because, oh sorry, I was speaking a bit loudly next to the microphone. The whole idea is, do I even have a coin in here? Excellent. I want it to be like something like above 3 seconds. And naturally, A coin doesn't really want to. No, where did you fall? A coin doesn't really want to have that vibrating motion for at most it's like a little below a second. So I am probably going to have to think about some reverb and some audio editing magic to to do that to get that done. But at the very least, now I have the skeleton of what I want to of what I want to do. Here, likely to have alternate versions for right or wrong. You know, I'm actually thinking that we could have. I think we could actually have an ASMR stream, a sort of ASMR roleplay stream, where there are like multiple branched paths, and each path, like maybe some paths for voting, go with voting, and some paths or some events can happen with the coin flip. So like if heads we go to choice A, or B we go to, or tails we go to choice B. It could maybe even be more of a shameless inspiration from Fear and Hunger, in the sense that like maybe we could have it that something really bad happens in the audio if we get the wrong call. Mm, because I'm thinking, nah, that will be a bit too dark. That will be a bit too dark, I think. At least as a Konis, it will be a bit too dark. If it will be, for example, that I will have the speaker character like get game ended in different ways if there is if they fail the coin flip. I also don't really know if my acting will necessarily be good enough to really sell those scenes. But at the very least, it is an idea to file under for a future experiment. Told you what, actually, ideas for special streams, and I'm gonna show you some of the ideas that I have for special streams, by the way. Also, never played Fear and Hunger. Nunca has jugado Miedo y Hambre. I recommend them. Mm, I recommend them with the caveat that if, for example, like violence, nudity, or uh, topics don't make you uncomfortable, then you can play the game. But even if that makes you a bit uncomfortable, then it's probably best to avoid it, because Fear and Hunger 2 does not have, from what I understand, too much of like sexual topics. But Fear and Hunger 1 did have more of that sort of stuff. Actually, one thing that I realized in a video essay that I was saying about the game that is actually pretty cute is that this is a bit of minor spoilers. Not really minor spoilers, but something about the setting. For how hateful or how mean Marina's father, a character from Fear and Hunger 2, is towards her, the father never actually misgenders Marina when he is talking one-to-one to her. And he, despite all of the contempt that he displayed towards her in private,